we finally got it, the Analogue Pocket. I've been waiting for this for such a long time now. I pre-ordered it when it first came out. It was unavailable and we got it here in our hands. I'm so excited to unbox this for you guys. I'm a huge retro gaming aficionado. You'll see a lot of these companies that have made like emulators, things like that, but none like this. This is very true to its form. You can actually play your cartridges. I have a ton of cartridges, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance cartridges that this can play. It also does save states and emulation, which is great. You'll see a lot of them like the Anberny and some other ones out there in the market, but I wanted to unbox this for you guys. I also picked up the Analogue dock. So yeah, these will run you a pretty penny. So the dock will run you about 200, and this on maybe just the third-party market will run you about 350. Thankfully, I got it from the website itself, so it'll run you about 250 or so. Let's open this up first. So I'm very excited. Again, I'm a huge nerd with these things, and I love to just like, dive deep into what is out there for retro gaming. If I can get this open, here we go. So it comes in this sleek black box. It also comes in lime green. I've seen some in the wild there. It comes in white, which I know some of my buddies would like to get it in white. And so as you can see there, just black box. Says Pocket on it, very sleek, feels matted. Let's see what it says here. Analogue Pocket Enterprise, designed in the USA, UK, and made in China. So, okay, here we go. So we open it up, very Apple-esque, and here it is. It may look familiar to you because it does have the same design as probably a Game Boy Color. So we're gonna set this aside here. It comes with its charging transfer cable. So, and I'll speak a little bit more on the transfer cable in a bit. So it's a USB Type-C here, which connects here at the bottom. Okay, and then you have in here a sticker. It says FPGA, not bad. And then here you have another sticker and the Analogue Pocket Quick Start QR code, and it'll tell you the instructions for how to turn it on. Okay, so this is it right here. I got it in matte black, very sleek. Check it out there, up close and personal. Let's look at the back of that right here. Now, again, you can play the cartridges straight from in here. So you plug it in and you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, all right, let's turn this thing on. Let's see how this looks. Wow, very sleek design. Love the way it looks already. Love the build quality on it is tough. So I'm gonna follow the tutorial. Let's do this. So, all right, press to continue. Now press the analog button. Now, press the volume button. Press together for mute. And then hold analog and press volume for brightness. So, okay. Here are the left and Y sticks. The D-pad, excuse me. You got this for screenshot, and then this to sleep. Hold for 2 seconds for on and off. Boom, you have this user agreement, which is along. I agree, and that's it. Okay. So I know that there is a update for it for emulation, which brings me to the transfer cable here. You can actually connect this straight into your computer, laptop, desktop, and you could actually have some emulation on this. So if you have games that you have emulated and you have, let's say, just a great library of things, you could actually put it right in here, which is great because it did not have that function before. So, okay, I'm going through the time here. It is 9:12 p.m. where I'm recording this on September 6th. So, okay, here it is. You have your library, and like I said, you connect an SD card, I believe is right here. You can connect an SD card and you could actually play those games like I was mentioning before. Memories, which is what I was talking to you about those save states. So it actually supports save states even on a cartridge, which is phenomenal. And then here you have your settings, things like that. So I know you want to see a cartridge being played. So let's go with a classic. Let's start with a classic first. Pokemon Red. I got the cartridge. I love it. It's great. We're here. So you basically plug it in, right in there, easy as it goes, and you hit play cartridge. Here we go. So you have Pokemon Red version, it read it right away. It tells you the developer, the publisher, and the region that this is in. You can actually add a image here, so if you wanted to, but here we go, we're gonna play it. So you see that hue? That hue is very reminiscent to the original Game Boy hue, which you could actually change. Okay, so we're here, Pokemon Red version. Boom, let's continue. And here it is. You're actually playing Pokemon Red on the Analogue Pocket. Here's the volume. See how loud it goes. Yeah, it's actually pretty loud. Okay, so here's a start, obviously. Okay, so that was sleep mode, as you can see. And then you can just wake it again. Here's the wake. And then it takes you right here, right to it. So a feature you obviously couldn't do before on the original Game Boy. This is how it compares to the Game Boy. So this is the original Game Boy that came out obviously in the 80s. Right here. There you have it. This is the back. Boom. So I've seen a lot of comparisons online. So it does have like that same like heaviness to it. So this is the original Game Boy is probably a little heavier right now. Let me turn this off before I get copyright stricken. And so this feels similar in terms of like the heaviness of it. This obviously just feels much sleeker. It feels better in your hands. I mean, this is great. It feels great, honestly. Now let's quit out of this. And now let's take this out and let's go with my favorite game of all time, Pokemon Crystal. Sorry, not my favorite game, my favorite Pokemon game of all time, excuse me. And we're gonna compare it next to the Game Boy Color. Probably one of my favorite handheld consoles. I have so many hours playing, not on this particular Game Boy Color, but on the Game Boy Color itself. So many hours played. I'm gonna first plug it in here and play it here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but obviously very hard to see. You had to get that light. There was a light attachment, which I will talk about that EXT plug in a minute. So here's Pokemon Crystal. Not sure if you can see that on camera, but it's probably hard to see. This angle you could probably see. And this is as loud as it goes. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off just so you can see the comparison, and we're gonna plug it into our Analogue Pocket. Boop, here we go. So again, it'll tell you the developer, the system, all of that. Obviously 0 memories because we don't have an SD card, and here we go. So full screen takes up the entire screen. There's Ditto. I'm gonna raise up the volume here. And here we go. We're playing Pokemon Crystal in HD. I mean, it looks so good, so good. I'm really just so excited for this, to just continue playing this. Looking at the settings here, the pocket, display, brightness, system. You could change basically the selected system here as well. And I read online that once when you select it, you can change kind of the controls for it, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, here's the display mode, analog, original GBA, original SP 101, which is the Game Boy Advance SP. So I'm gonna take this off here, go back, and we're playing it. Pokemon Crystal. Check that out. All right, let's turn that down before, again, copyrights. So there you have it. Now I'm going to turn this off, put this to sleep, and I'm going to remove this. Hopefully that didn't do anything. And let's compare now a Game Boy Advance games. Now, some of you may not have heard of this game, but again, I said Pokemon Crystal is my favorite Pokemon game. This is Pokemon Liquid Crystal, which is a fan-made Pokemon game. Here I have my Nintendo SP that I have personally very proud that I have modded. The brightness, things like that, change the battery, all of that. So we're gonna plug it in here first. Check out how it looks here. So again, I've updated the brightness on this, so this is gonna look vastly different than how a normal SP will look, but I just wanna do it in comparison to the Analogue Pocket. Okay, so we're here. Okay. So for those of you that don't know, this is Pokemon Liquid Crystal, and it's using the same engine basically as like Fire Red, Leaf Green, and it's basically Pokemon Crystal with a few added things, a lot of things actually. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna turn that off, and we are going to plug this in. Straight in here, goes right in, and I'm going to wake the console up. So as you can see, it says wake. I'm gonna play it, and here we go. Pokemon Liquid Crystal. Wow, looks amazing. Boom, here it is, Game Boy Advance. It looks, just from looking at it, and I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but it looks amazing. It's running incredibly. It looks like 60 frames per second. I'm not entirely sure. It looks phenomenal. And again, you can, you know, do save states with this. So you just hit here and you go to memories. But again, I don't have an SD card set in here. All right, well, I'm gonna put this away. And the cool thing about this is that it comes with the transfer cable right in here. So you remember those transfer cables from back in the day, same one. So if you wanted to, you can use that to basically have your Pokemon transfer. So, you know, back in the day, for those of you that didn't know, back in the day, you needed this cable here, right here, in order to transfer Pokemon from one another. And also had other exciting things that you can do back in the day. So, you know, each one had it. So the Game Boy Color right here had it. And it was basically a transfer cable. So if you still have one of those laying around, you can use it for your Analogue Pocket, and you can go from right there. Now I'm gonna put this away, and let's clear the table for the dock. So now the dock works basically as an extension to your Analogue Pocket. So I'm going to open this up. And what you can do is you can literally dock your Analogue Pocket just like you can with a Nintendo Switch, and you can basically set it and play it on your TV if you would like to. So this is the box. Again, very similar to how the Pocket looks. We're gonna open this up, and here it is. Comes with its power adapter here, USB-C, and this is basically it. Check that out. Very cool, very sleek. Has a rubber finish at the bottom so that it can grip to whatever surfaces you're putting it on. I'm gonna put that down there. Now, I'm gonna open this up, which I imagine will be the USB-C. Yep, USB-C right here. And right here, you have your HDMI. So you connect this right here, HDMI, straight to your TV, and you go from there. I mean, how easy is that? Boom, you dock your Analogue, and here it is docked. And basically, you turn it on and you set it from there. Okay, and here it is docked, connected to my TV. And as you can see here, it plays great. I connected my PlayStation 5 controller via Bluetooth on the dock, so it has a little button in the back. It doesn't do a good job at actually telling you where you can connect it and how to connect it, basically. But you basically dock your Analogue Pocket to the Analogue dock, and you can basically start playing like so. Here it is on the TV. Here it is natively. Yeah, and it's running great. It looks fantastic. Here's some of that real-time weather. So, tell me what you think about the Analogue Pocket. Are you picking this up? Now, I know, again, it is pretty expensive right now, and it's crazy in a world where we live in nostalgia, how much more expensive these things can get. Even just picking up things like this, like Pokemon Silver, can run you like $300 right now in its box, you know, with a manual inside, which I fortunately have. And then, you know, things like even just getting like Pokemon Crystal, which is probably the most expensive game aside from Soul Silver and Heart Gold that you can get right now. And I mean, again, it's like the retro gaming, I guess, stores or things, and the third-party markets are just, you know, they're going wild. Who would have thought? Who would have thought when so many game stores back in the day were closing down? So many are opening up now. Are you excited to get this? Do you want to get it? Please comment down below. Let us know what you think. If you're picking this up, if you want to get it, they're again coming out with an N64 version as well, which I'm pretty excited about that. And I cannot wait to do the unboxing for that. Let us know. Comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.